and when I got home my head was aching, and I was even like, who even sent me to take the Smirnoff? But that was the first time I took alcohol. Was that the last time I took alcohol? Definitely not. But the first time I took alcohol was my first year in the university, and it was Smirnoff Ice, and it was a terrible experience. Hello everybody, what's up YouTube? I'm sure you're all doing good. As you can all see, it's going to be an exciting video. It's going to be a fun video, because on this video I'll be answering all my first time questions. I'll be answering 10 questions, and it's definitely going to be juicy. But before I dive into this video, I want to say that this video was inspired by Em Etetim's video on YouTube, and it's kind of trending at the moment, so I decided to do my first time I did some of these things. So as you can all see, I have my bottle of water here because some of the questions are a bit scary, and because I don't want to choke, it's important I have some water by me to save me. So let's get into the video. First is, what is the first thing you check in the morning? okay, Brenda, be serious. To be honest, the first thing I check in the morning is my sports wear. That is because every morning I go exercising. I don't go exercising, let me not make it sound too serious. Every morning I go for a walk, so most times in the morning I'll just get up and I'm looking for my sport attire, most especially my sports outfit, because I already know where the shoes are, but for the attire I need to go into my closet to start looking for my sportswear. So that's the first thing. But if it's the first app I check in the morning, most mornings the first app I check is YouTube, because funny enough I consume more of YouTube than other apps, because I'm always learning, I'm always watching videos. So it could be any kind of video, but the first app I go to in the morning is YouTube. Before my status, it was WhatsApp or Facebook, because I have to check on some important messages. But ever since everything got serious and stable, my first app is YouTube. The first app is YouTube, and the first thing I always do in the morning is to look for my sports attire to go for a walk. Nothing serious. Second is, what is the first foreign country you have been to? Somebody's going to take some credit, but the first foreign country I've been to is Rwanda, and that was for a talk. I went to Rwanda as a host for the African Business Investment Summit. It was fully funded, and that was the first time I left Cameroon as a country, and I was in Rwanda for, is it 11 days or 12 days? I don't know, but that's the first foreign country I've ever been to. So question number 3. What is the first video I have ever filmed? The first video I've ever filmed was on Facebook, and I just came back from a wedding. I was doing a makeup for some bridesmaid for a wedding, and I just came and I went online, and I was just fed up with the amount of negativity that is online, and I just decided to do a video. Fun fact is that video got trendy and viral in 24 hours. And that video was done with my phone, so that was what even encouraged me and motivated me to be doing motivational videos. But the truth is, I'm going to do a whole story time about how I started doing videos, and that is going to be in another episode. So if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? And how will you watch such content if you haven't subscribed to my channel? So the fourth question is, first time you ever took alcohol? This is not a good one, but because I want to be honest with you guys, I'm going to tell you guys nothing but the truth. Let me take some water. Okay, so the first time I ever took alcohol, that was my first year in the university, and that was Smirnoff Ice. I think I took a bottle, and see, it's interesting to have crazy friends. Like I don't know, I just remember, I think it's the Smirnoff Ice Black, the black ice, or Smirnoff Ice Black. I just remember that I did not even finish a bottle, and I was literally sitting down, and it's like my head was falling off from the table. And when I got home, my head was aching, and I was even like, who even sent me to take the Smirnoff? But that was the first time I took alcohol. Was that the last time I took alcohol? Definitely not. But the first time I took alcohol was my first year in the university, and it was Smirnoff Ice, and it was a terrible experience. And I mean terrible, terrible as in my head was seriously aching, and I was like, nah, I'm definitely not going to take alcohol again. The fifth question is the first time I got in trouble at home or at school. I always got into trouble. I cannot really remember the first time I got into trouble, but one thing I know is my name at school, my name was always on the list of noisemakers, because the class prefects will always write down my name. And it got so serious to the point where when I was in lower seats, I had to intentionally sit with the class prefect. Like, shout out to Gustav. Gustav was my benchy, and I was actually looking for the person who was a class prefect to sit with, because I was tired of people always writing down my names on the list of noisemakers, and I'm always punished. At home, same thing. I'm the second child, and my elder sister is very calm and composed. I'm the person who is always going, not following mommy's instructions kind of person. So I would always get into trouble. My mom would say nobody should step out, nobody should go to the neighbor's house, and Brenda would go. Sometimes I'll even go and I'll negotiate with my siblings that please don't tell. But funny enough, parents always be parents. Before you know it, my mom will come back before I'm back in the house, and I'll be caught. So that was, I think, that is the first time I got into trouble at home and at school. Question number 6. The first YouTuber you ever subscribed to. The first YouTuber I ever subscribed to is Em Etetim, and that is because I always saw my elder sister watching her videos on how to make recipes, and it was very practical for me. Like, that was the first YouTuber I intentionally went on YouTube and I searched and I clicked to her channel. I have subscribed to so many YouTubers' channel, but Em Etetim is the first YouTuber I really remember checking and clicking to her channel on YouTube. Question 7. The first car you've ever had. Pause. You want to know the first car I ever had? Funny enough, I have never had a car. I don't have a car. Hopefully, if one of my subscribers want to bless me with a car, why not? But I have never had a car. I don't have a car, but working at getting a car, because a car is a necessity and it just makes life easy. But I don't have a car, so let's dive into the 8th question. My first cooking experience. My first cooking experience is, I remember it like yesterday, because my mom is a very good cook, and I remember I was trying, let me know what I was making, because now it makes sense, then it don't make sense. I was trying to make rice and granite soup, and I don't know, the granite soup, it was like, I remember my dad asking me if it was granite soup or it was onion soup, because the taste was just horrible. The only thing I had correctly was to fry the granite, and that was because, and if you're watching this video and you're not Cameroonian, granite soup is soup that is basically made from granules. Like, that's the principal thing, like when you're making a goosey soup. So the soup, it's a very simple meal, but I don't know why I did not just get it. Like, I think that's the first meal every girl in my house got to cook first, because if your granite soup can go wrong, it means I don't know what you can have right, because it's as simple as boiling spaghetti. So I just remember the food. My dad was like, is this granite soup or is onion soup? Because all he got was just a taste of onion. Like, the taste of onion was so much than even the granite itself. So that was my first cooking experience, and trust me, my skills have definitely gotten better. But I remember my mom saying, wow, I really fried the granite well. Because another thing about, one thing that also makes granite soup nice is if you take your time to make the granite try. Like if the groundnut is well done, there's a high possibility for the soup to be nice. But funny enough, I had in mind to do groundnut soup, but I ended up doing onion soup, as my dad will call it. This is the tea. This is going to be juicy because the 9th questions, and I'm going to be answering 10 questions. The 9th question is my first date. Should I go to the 10th question, or I should answer the 9th question? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll be answering my first date. When a proper date, my first date was in the university, and I don't even think that guy will ever come across this video, but let me just see what I have to say. Because my first date was in the university. I went to the Catholic University of Boya, and then there is this guy where classmates, like we were doing the same thing. I studied human resource, and the guy's like, he wants to take me out, and I was like, okay. Because I went to boarding school, I was not really used to, like, I don't really know what it means to take somebody on a date. I felt taking somebody on a date was just like maybe you're already liking the person. I never knew it was like some sort of getting to know someone kind of thing. And way back from school, people already knew, most people knew that, oh, Brenda is a serious person and stuff. And this guy now, because he wanted to level up to who Brenda is, he now had a series of questions to ask. And we went, the environment was not bad, because back then in Boya, it was a good environment, it was a clean place, it was a nice restaurant. But what is funny is the way the guy just went out with the questions. Like, it was like an interview, and the guy was just like, what's your name? To be honest, this guy is my coursemate. Like, when I mean coursemate, like we were in the same level, and he's asking me questions he already knows. And at some point I was asking myself, like, is he asking these questions because he wants to ask, or is it that he has gotten some heads up from somebody, or he just wants to? Because the questions was like, what's your name? And I was confused. I was like, how can he be asking my name when, because 100 level we all do the same thing, and 2nd level we start specializing, and now this guy is asking me what's my name when we all did the same thing 100 level. And I'm like, at least even if you want to know something, it's not my name. So it's like, what's my name? So I'll be like, my name is Brenda Kimbi. And he's like, what do you study? And I'm like, I say, I study human resource. And then the guy is like, where do you live? I say, does this guy, like, both us being the 2nd batch, we basically knew where everybody was living, because when you came to register in school, we were allocated one and the same hostel. So I'm like, what kind of questions is this? And then he goes, what's your best color? At that point I was really tired, but because we were in the same school, and I just had to be a good girl. The date was really funny, but it was more of an interview session than a date. So I think I've taken a lot of time on this question, but that was what my first date looked like. My first date was more of an interview than a date, because he was basically asking questions and I was basically answering the questions. So I'll be answering the last question, and the last question is my first friend. To be honest, I cannot remember my first friend. I don't know what this question is talking about. I don't know if it's about my first best friend, my first friend, my first acquaintance. I don't know. I've had so many friends, and I cannot really remember who my first friend was. But what I can remember is, I can remember the first person I ever really got to be friends with, as in talk to, from primary school, and the guy's name is Frank. And that was because he was literally small like me physically, so we always sat on the first bench together, like class 1, class 2, class 3. We're always benchmates. And so I don't know if we were not friends, but life just made it possible that we're always sitting together. So thanks for watching. And the questions, see, honestly, these questions are really funny. I really had to even take out some of the questions, but I hope I answered all your questions. If you've watched this video till this point and you've not subscribed to my channel, you're really missing out on a lot of things. So thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you. Please do not forget to subscribe, do not forget to drop a comment, and if you want to see more of this kind of videos, just drop it in the comment section. Until next time, I'm your girl Brenna Kimbi. Keep raising the bar.